Frozen 2 is the newest Disney animated film and of course is the sequel to the animated hit from 2013. When Elsa hears a mysterious voice, the gang travel to an enchanted forest that could give them answers about the past and Elsa's powers. Frozen from 2013, I was not the biggest fan of that movie. I thought it was pretty annoying. Everyone seemed to love the music, but I did not. In fact, I never really liked the music that much in any Disney musicals. The music is always just fine. It's there, but it never does anything for me, especially when it comes to giving us a story. And Frozen in 2013 tried to incorporate a lot of music into its story, but that part of the movie just simply did not work for me. It did not help that everyone was obsessed with the film back then, and it seemed like a lot of people were very excited for Frozen 2 this fall. I was not one of those people, but I still wanted to see this movie. And honestly, I'm pretty happy I didn't have any expectations for Frozen 2, because this movie was as expected, almost like the first one for myself. Maybe just a tad bit worse. Probably actually a lot worse. I will get the things I liked about this movie out of the way first, and then I'll get into what I did not like. The animation, do I even have to talk about the animation? Of course it's great. It's 2019. It looks gorgeous, beautiful. Every single adjective that you can describe something as to looking great, that's what the animation looks like in Frozen 2, and I don't think anyone is complaining about the animation in Frozen 2. That's one of the things that really does stand out in this movie, is how good the animation looks. You know what though? I never had a problem with any of the characters in the Frozen series. All of them, for the most part, I do like, and the two leads, Anna and Elsa, are great role models in my opinion for younger girls. I thought Kristoff and Sven, they're a great combination, and Olaf. Maybe he can be annoying sometimes, but he's still a very likable, cuddly little snowman who I've always enjoyed watching on the screen. Plus the music, even if it's not my kind of music, other people will have so much love for the music in Frozen 2. I do have ears for music, guys, come on, and I know this is well-composed music, but where did Frozen 2 go wrong? It wasn't the same issues I had with the first one, which is weird because I did expect that, but in this movie, I really did not like the plot at all. The first one was very predictable, but in Frozen 2, this plot is ultra convoluted. I have no idea how kids who watch this movie will get any of it. I'm an adult, and I did not understand so much that came from this movie. There is a lot of rich history that they bring up in the film that's barely explored, or any given explanations for a few subplots in this movie. There is a lot that goes on in Frozen 2, but unfortunately, none of it comes together or makes any sense to myself. I just find that so weird because this is a kid's movie. It was made for kids and it's supposed to be a little bit lighter. I don't mind it when movies go a little bit deeper and darker with their themes, but it's not like this movie even did that. It was more so the plot that was harder to understand. The themes aren't. It's the plot. As stated, the first movie was predictable, and looking back, it's okay because, after all, not every single Disney movie that I love was the most unpredictable of all time. And in Frozen, I respect what they did with that film. That movie definitely had some influences on other movies that came out later on, but in this film, there's not even unpredictability. It's more so this movie has a lot of filler. The ending of the movie is so small. There is barely a climax in this film. In fact, was there a climax in Frozen 2? I guess there was, in a way, but it was not at all impactful on myself. It just kind of happened, and you're like, oh, guess the movie's over, alright. Now, Frozen 2 is not a miserable movie. This is not one of the worst movies I've seen this year. It's just... it's just one of those movies. You know what I mean? You walk out of the theater, you wonder what you just watched, and none of it really makes that much sense. The characters still are lovable. I like all of them in the movie. I thought the music was well put together. The animation looks gorgeous. But the story, there wasn't much here, and I don't think they did nearly enough to give us any sort of insight onto what was happening in this movie. Which makes me upset because the beginning of this film sets up an interesting plot that was set to be unraveled during the rest of the film, but instead they go in a direction that I found extremely uninteresting and unbearable at times. I'm giving Frozen 2 a 57%. This movie was not awful. It was not awful, but it was definitely a movie that I probably won't remember anytime soon. I do want to watch the first one, though. I'll give this movie credit for making me want to watch the first one again. And maybe if I watch the first one again, I'll entirely erase this movie from my brain and only remember the first one. Alright, for those of you who have also seen Frozen 2, be sure to let me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. I hope all of you have a great Thanksgiving. As always, thank you all so much for watching my videos. It's been a great year so far. Cannot wait for the month of December. Let's hope there's a lot of good movies coming out. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.